Hey, Husker Nation, welcome inside Emily Arena. The Huskers are here, but most importantly, John Baylor is here. You got shorts on, no flip-flops. Where are your flip-flops?
I'm going toes covered for now, but I got the sunblock on. I like Final Fours where you can go with shorts.
Yeah.
Columbus, very few shorts were packed on that trip.
Well, how does it feel to be here? Another Final Four with Nebraska.
Oh, gosh, my 11th Final Four, the program's 17th. It's almost an annual ritual. It's just... It's not even that surprising, but it's such an incredible accomplishment. To get here is so tough. And they're here. And some people are thinking, and I'm not a big fan of this narrative, oh, the pressure's off. We're here. I mean, we're here. We're at Emily Arena. I got no idea what Emily is. Probably some very profitable insurance company. But if we're here, let's just go try to win it.
What went into this run for this Husker team to get here?
Oh, amazing chemistry, remarkable cerebral fortitude in the face of great adversity, a fabulous setter who is difficult to exaggerate the impact of. There have been players, impact players, generational players that have joined this program over the years. You know, Michaela Fecke, Jordan Larson, Sydney Anderson was big in 2008, Christy Johnson. But what Bergen has done to make everyone better is what a great setter does, and she personifies that.
You know, they're young, and all year we've said that, but yet they have approached it like we've played a lot of volleyball. But how excited are you to see how these freshmen handle this stage?
Well, they've never felt like freshmen to me. It's just like, I mean, they got here so poised. They did all the under 19, under 17 junior national stuff together, so they already knew each other before they even got here. And they just felt like veterans when they arrived. But I think it's a benefit that they really don't know the ramifications, because it seems like they've had amnesia in the past about what's really at stake, and it's borne well for them. But yeah, can they get the Hollywood ending? I mean, is this possible? And if they don't, which is very possible, let's, as a fan base, please remember the journey. But for now, it could get that Hollywood ending. It's already a special team in the annals of Nebraska volleyball. We'll probably remember this one separate from so many others, but in a unique way for all the reasons we all know about. But now to put the frosting on it with the candles and get the title, it's just something you can't script.
All right, how much have you dove into Pitt? What are you seeing out of them?
All right, I got the Three Rivers. You got the Monongahela. You got the Allegheny. You got the Ohio. I want to go kayaking right in the middle of that. But they have three great pin hitters. They've got two solid middles. They've got an elite setter, and they've got a really good libero. Those are the components. To win a national championship, go deep in December, and here we are, deep into December. You got to have two, conventionally speaking, you got to have two great terminal outsides. They've got one, and they've got a great right side. And they're both freshmen. How they got them out of Southern California, I got no idea. Well, I got an idea. It's where Dan Fisher's from. But, man, USC, UCLA, how do they let these two get away? Anyway, they are great on the pins. And that makes them really tough, because even if you serve tough, what do? They set the pins. Well, that's their strength. So they have a lot of strengths. You need a Hubble microscope, a Hubble telescope to find their weaknesses. And it's a Final Four, a really tough matchup.
All right, you ready to call your 11th Final Four? You prepped? You ready to go?
Not yet, but when the lights come on, you got to ready. You don't want to peak too soon.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Red Sox fan. A lot of titles were never won in April. All right, so anyway, when the game begins, hopefully I will be ready at that point.
All right, he's the voice of the Huskers, John Baylor. Lauren Cook-West, they'll be on the call for you. 6 o'clock, right? 5 o'clock Central Time.
We're Eastern Time, so it starts here at 7. You subtract by 1. 6 o'clock. But it's a 1-hour pregame. Do you know we're on for 1 hour?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I thought at the beginning of the year, 1 hour pregame, I'd be like talking about my middle school hobbies. But no, we fill it. It's all volleyball all the time. And we're going to grab some former Husker assistant coaches to come on the pregame. We should have some special stuff pregame Thursday night.
All right, and we'll have all the coverage for you across the Huskers Radio Network and right here on our Huskers social media platform. So stay tuned. And a big thanks to John Henrys for sponsoring our post-game coverage and our Final Four coverage all season long.
What do you think about the Final Four? This is your first Final Four. What am I doing all the talking for? What do you think of all this?
People want to hear you. It's amazing. It's incredible. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this team. Like you said, it's been a storybook season. They need a storybook ending. It's been a fun team to cover and watch, and I'm just so happy for them that they made it here. And now let's get that storybook ending.
They have earned this.
Here with Andi Jackson. Well, how much fun are you having getting to experience this Final Four thing?
Yeah, it's super fun. Super exciting. I mean, I've never gotten to experience anything like this, obviously, but it's been a really fun day. And just since we touched down in Tampa, I've had a really, really good time. And they've done a great job welcoming us.
You guys had open practice. There were quite a few fans in the stands, but how did practice go today?
I thought practice went really well. I mean, obviously, practices aren't supposed to be super pretty. They're not going to be perfect. And I think we worked a lot of things out, got super used to the facility, and I would say it went well.
Yeah, this is the ultimate goal, right? When you signed up to play college volleyball, when you punched the ticket back last Saturday, how did it feel for you personally to know that the Huskers were going to be here?
It was incredible. I'm super grateful that we get to be here and experience this. And there's no other group of girls that I would want to go into this and just experience a Final Four with.
You know, what went into it? What do you think has been the biggest key for you guys getting here and being able to punch your ticket to the Final Four?
I just think obviously our hard work and our dedication to the sport, and then just our willingness to learn. I mean, obviously everyone on this team, we are young and new to this level, but that doesn't have anything to do with that. I just think that we come in and we're ready to learn every single day, and we work super hard and we gel super well, and we love each other really well on and off the court. And I would say that that's just a huge thing that this team has.
Going into this matchup with Pitt, how much are you looking forward to your role? How ready are you for whatever this team is needed from you to help win this matchup?
Yeah, Pitt's a great team. They're super competitive, and it'll be a really good match. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited. I think we've done a really good job preparing for them, and it'll, like I said, be a competitive match, and I know this team is ready.
How much do you feel like your game's grown just throughout this whole season?
Oh my gosh, a ton. Like coming from a club with only 4 teams in it, and we would practice with cows outside, to University of Nebraska, I would say that it's been incredible. And I mean, I just have seen so much improvement in myself, and like I couldn't do it without my teammates and the coaching staff, obviously.
So, okay, you talked about this matchup, but what are going to be the big keys for you guys? What are you focusing on to be able to have some success on Thursday?
Yeah, serve and pass is huge, obviously, in any game. And then I think just sticking together. We're in a new arena, new experience for a lot of us. I mean, we got to stick to each other and just lean on each other when things get hard. And then, like I said, serve and pass and put balls away, and we'll see what happens.
Bekka just ran by, patted you on the shoulder. You guys seem to have a neat relationship. How much do you guys feed off of each other, the middles there?
A ton. I have to give huge kudos to Bekka, because when I got here in January, she was just a huge leader for me and a huge role model, and I've learned a lot from her. And so our relationship has grown a ton, and I'm super thankful to have her on the team.
You just how close this team is. How much do you guys want to keep it rolling for every single second that you possibly can?
Oh, yeah. We want to take advantage of all the time that we have. Obviously, like the season's coming to an end. And so we're just trying to take advantage of what we have left, because this team loves each other so well and we have such good connections.
You know, as freshmen, how have you guys been able to manage all of this? I mean, I know you said, oh, we're not young, we've played a lot of volleyball, but this is a crazy experience. How have you been able to handle everything and go through it with such poise that you guys all have?
Yeah, Coach definitely front-loaded us before we got here, Coach and Jordan and all of our coaching staff, actually. And they were just like, hey, it's going to be a lot of glitz, a lot of glamour, and they're going to give you a lot, make you feel super welcomed, but you have to stay locked in. And obviously we've had the memorial match already that we talked about, and so we've already kind of prepared for this, just with all the hype that was happening for that match, we still had to stay locked in. And so we've had some really good experiences to prepare us for this, and so just soak it up, take it in, but also remember that we're here to play a Final Four match and to get to the end goal.
All right, what goes into the next 24 hours to be ready to roll?
Recovery, good sleep, good food, and then just stay locked in. I mean, enjoy what we have right now, enjoy this moment, but then be ready to play volleyball tomorrow.
Love it. Thanks for your time, Andi.
Thank you.
Well, here with Bekka, Allick, you guys are doing all the media stuff. You've got confetti everywhere. How much fun is just this whole process getting to do all of this?
It's amazing. I mean, it's really nice to be celebrated like this, even just for making the Final Four. So, yeah, it's been a really good time.
What's it been like for you personally? I know you were super disappointed that this team didn't make it last year, but for you to get to come, what's been your approach or mindset, everything, getting to be here and be here with this team this year?
It's been everything. I mean, everything after the semifinal for the regionals. Yes, everything after that has been a blessing. I mean, it burned a lot last year, and it's something that has stuck with me. And I've had hard conversations with the team and the captain just about how, even just postseason gave me anxiety. Just the idea of getting after and giving that chance, and just the idea of failing, it's scary. And so the fact that we've made it this far already, it's been fun.
Lauren Cook-West brought up a story about how Harper Murray says she wants to play for you. I mean, how special is that? Just, again, the close-knitness of this team, and that you have these young freshmen coming in that you mean so much to them, and just you guys are playing for each other.
It meant a lot, and it about brought me too much. About brought me some tears when I heard that. It's not every day that you get to hear someone that has been pursuing their dreams for so long that I'm their why. You know, I can say my why has been outside the gym, and it's really rare that it's ever been a teammate. And the fact that I'm hers, I think, I don't know, I'm just blessed.
How was practice today? You guys had your first practice here, had a crowd full of people. How'd you feel like it went?
I thought it went pretty well. I'd say my reading could have been better, to be honest with you. But Coach said that it was one of the best practices we've had prior to the Final Four, and so that was good to hear. But, yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
After you guys punched the ticket to get here, how has the preparation been just for this team leading up to this moment?
Yeah, for sure. Just the preparation, it's always been just be where your feet are and respect who's ever across the net. It doesn't matter what they've accomplished or what they've done or how they've been known in the conference or whatever. Like, everyone deserves our best shot as they're going to give us theirs. And so, yeah, just the biggest thing is being where our feet are, respecting our opponent, and, yeah, just go give them your best shot.
You know, just talking to Andi, and she just talked about how much you meant to her and how much you've helped her and another freshman. But what is that dynamic like between you and Andi and what you guys bring to this team?
Man, that's my rock right there. So 15, she's a dog. And my favorite thing ever is that we are each other's accountability partners. So when one of us is kind of shutting down for the day or just kind of going through it, I know I can talk to her about it. And we talked about our individual goals, and we have that on the team of, you know, okay, what's one thing that we can better, not only just for volleyball, but for ourselves and for our family members and for our friends. And so, yeah, she's someone that I talk to, and it's really nice to have that. And the fact that we're the same position, she understands the struggles of being in the middle. So, yeah, it's my girl.
Yeah, you guys have just accomplished so much already this season, but what makes you believe that this team is ready for this moment here coming up tomorrow?
Everybody wants this. Everybody wants pressure. Everybody wants the hardware. But there's something different about this group. Everybody's been through something where they've had to sacrifice, whether how big or small. There's just something brewing, and I don't know. Like I still don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow night, and it's exciting and it's nerve-wracking and it's all of these things. But I know for a fact that I would go to war with these specific goals any given day, and so I'm really excited to see what we're gonna do as a team.
Last thing I got for you, just what has it meant to you? I mean, you guys are going to be playing on ABC for the first time, the championship match. I mean, you saw the welcome there when you guys got off the plane, the fans in the stands, just how you guys have captivated and the sport, the way it's grown, but just how big it's been this year. Yeah. How special has that been for you to be a part of?
It's so weird, dude. I mean, I would have never guessed that my career would have taken me this far and that I would have had the memorial game, you know, done all of these things, set all kinds of records. It's so wild that God put me at this spot at this time for me to be a part of all of these things. And so I just feel lucky, and sometimes I feel undeserving. But, yeah, like I said, I'm just happy to be here.
Not done yet. Got lots of time left here, right?
Exactly.
Appreciate your time, Bekka.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, Husker fans, look who I found. A familiar face. Emily Ehman covered this Nebraska team all season long for the Big Ten Network. It seems like just yesterday you were in Lincoln for the stadium match, and here we are for the Final Four. How does it feel that it's here and it's down to 4?
I feel like I blinked and somehow the season's like already over. You know, that stadium match I think was so special, and there was so much hype around it for so long, and then it flew by in an instant. And then since then, you know, we've broken records in viewership, attendance, and somehow we're at the Final Four, and the teams that we have matched up, I mean, it couldn't have been more exciting, and it couldn't have played out better.
So that was one of the first matches of the season for Nebraska. You've seen them all throughout the course of a season. What's been your perspective on the growth and how they've been able to get here?
Yeah, I think the thing that stood out the most is seeing some of these younger players, specifically the freshmen, really rise up to every occasion and kind of knock the dominoes down. You know, they started off with playing in front of 92,000 people. They looked calm and composed during that. And then they play a top 5 match on the road at Stanford. Looked great there as well. You get into Big Ten play, you're playing in a 1-2 undefeated matchup against your rival Wisconsin. And every challenge that they've had, they've knocked it out of the park. They have done an outstanding job really staying calm and composed. And I think from the beginning of the season where they've grown the most is volleyball-wise, really just in those connections. I think Bergen Riley has done an incredible job getting comfortable with all of her hitters. You know, she had some experience with them in the USA gym in the past and being here a little bit longer than most freshmen have. But I think we've seen those connections really shore up. And as the season has gone on, I mean, they are, you know, as good as they could be right now.
How critical is a setter like Bergen Riley on this moment and this stage?
huge. I mean, a setter is a quarterback of your team. You have to have a good one to make it far in the tournament. And not only does Nebraska have a good one, they have one that has, 3 years of eligibility left after this, which is so great to see. But I think what's impressed me most about her is her ability to affect the game and the team as a freshman. It's so difficult coming into not just NCAA volleyball, but Big Ten volleyball. It's a beast. It's a grind from day one until, championship night. And she's handled it with grace. She's such a good leader for that team. And I think she balances out some of the firecrackers well. You got Bekka and Laney in there, and she calms everyone down. And her ability to distribute and, have hands like butter and just lead that team has been really impressive.
Throughout the season, was there a point when you thought, okay, this Nebraska team does have a chance to go to the Final Four, does have a chance to compete for the national title?
Yeah, honestly, I think that matchup at Stanford early on in the season, I think solidified that this team was really good. They had I don't want to say an easier non-conference schedule up until that point, but it kind of ramped up as the season went on. So it was fun to see them in the beginning of the year playing those opponents that, maybe aren't competing for national championships, but then watch them knock those dominoes down of, again, playing on the road against a top 5 team and beating Stanford very convincingly. And at that time, Stanford was probably one of, if not the best team in the country, at least from our perspective. So I think that was a moment where it clicked for me like, dang, this team is pretty good and they could go pretty far.
So if I told you back in August that it would be Pitt, Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Texas, would you have believed that Final Four?
I want to say yes because you got the Blue Bloods with Texas and Wisconsin, absolutely. Pitt surprises us every single year. I feel like I come in and, not that I doubt the team, but you don't know how good they're going to be. And to be fair, that's a team that gets better as the season goes on, and Dan Fisher is such an incredible coach. He gets them ramped up for tournament time, and that's why they've been able to make 3 consecutive Final Fours. I think Nebraska, to me, is the biggest surprise just because of the inexperience and youth that they have. But again, they've proven us wrong so many times of, yeah, we might be young, but we're up to the challenge. We can do this.
So give us your keys to the matchup for Nebraska and Pitt, kind of what to look out for in that matchup.
Yeah, I think one of the big things for Nebraska is they're going up against a Pitt team that is good on both sides of the ball. So they're one of the most efficient teams in the country hitting-wise, and then in opponent hit percentage, they have a pretty dang good defense, very comparable to what Nebraska sees. Now, a little bit different, though, in that they have a big block. So one key for Nebraska is going to be swinging really high and hard, going for the edges, and then the hitters who aren't hitting the ball and the defenders in the backcourt, they have to be in a cover. That's going to be really big. Second biggest key for Nebraska is just outlasting Pitt defensively. That's a team that's going to touch a lot of balls to transition easily, but can Nebraska outlast them? And we've seen them do it all season long, with the 1.5-minute rallies that we've seen. That has to be a key focal point for this Nebraska team is transitioning those plays in offense.
All right, give us a preview of the other matchup, Wisconsin and Texas, what to look out for in that matchup.
Oh, that one's going to be fun. I think, we have really good backcourt defense in the Pitt-Nebraska game, and this one's going to be a blocking matchup slugfest. It's going to be so much fun. I think we're going to see just some really physical, big players going up against each other at the net. And I think the number one thing that I'm looking at is how these teams match up at the net. So, you have Asia O'Neal going against Carter Booth. Who's going to win that matchup? That's going to be a big thing that I'm watching from that one.
Say it's an all Big Ten final. How exciting would that be for you if it was Nebraska-Wisconsin?
That'd be my Super Bowl. I mean, it's so exciting. And to be honest, I think I'm really just happy to be here and cover these teams that I feel like, I've covered the most this season. I've had Nebraska and Wisconsin, I want to say like 8 times each, at least calling their games, whether it's on the home court or away. So for me, it's just fun. You gain relationships with the coaches and the players, and to follow them from the beginning of the year up until now, the height of the season. I mean, it's just such an honor to be here, and, I couldn't be more excited. And to watch teams like Texas and Pitt compete as well, that are always so fun to watch, and, those players are so great too. So I'm just happy to be here.
I got a kick out of your tweet asking Husker fans who they're rooting for between Wisconsin and Texas. For like 10,000 votes. Were you surprised at the results?
To be honest, I knew I'd get some engagement, but I kind of the comments were just, I was laughing out loud the entire time reading those, and they just are still going. So I got to talk to some Husker fans and get their thoughts in person to see.
Would you have thought that they would have picked Texas?
I think the consensus, which I agreed with, was one, it was funny seeing the amount of vomiting emojis that came out of everyone's mouth. But the funny thing was, I think it seems like Nebraska fans would rather play Texas than Wisconsin, and I would probably agree with that. Wisconsin's a much more physical team. But I don't know. I agree with them there. It was just that the whole thing was so funny. It was so great.
I was laughing. It was hilarious. Last thing I got for you, just, you talked about the stadium match and just the records that have been broken all throughout the season across the country, and then the championship match is going to be on ABC. All of the semifinal or all of the regional matchups are on ESPN, which you got to call. How special is it to be a part of that, to see the growth of the sport and where it is right now?
There's nothing more special. And even, I think back to when I played, I graduated in 2020, so not too long ago. And thinking where the sport from a coverage perspective has gone since then is night and day. And I think a lot of that stems from the people at the top. People like Erica Galbraith, the coordinating producer at ESPN, Sue Marriott, the coordinating producer at Big Ten Network. They're constantly pushing behind the scenes, names that people don't really know, to get a championship on ABC on that Sunday in a primetime slot on a national network, and at Big Ten Network getting more primetime slots and getting more games on TV. It's crazy thinking back just a few years of how much this sport has grown from that perspective. And what that does is it puts butts in seats. Now we're seeing attendance records shattered. It feels like every single week across the country. And, hopefully another one here in this arena in a few days. But, man, it's so special to be a part of, just this sport absolutely exploding.
Appreciate your time, Emily. Great to see you. And I know Husker fans will be glad to see a familiar face as well.
Oh, you guys are the best. Yeah, thanks for having me.